So, babies, we have been talking about first conditional. We have had this time to practice, and right now we are going to talk about second conditional, okay? What happened, babies? With second conditional, you have to take some things into account, and we are going to check it together, okay? Don't forget to let me know if you have questions. Don't forget, babies, to take notes. Taking notes is important. And don't forget that you are going to be able to find the recording of the class. I am going to put it in the forum of the review, okay? So basically, that's it. Let's begin with second condition. And let's read this first part, okay? So, Miguel, can you please help me reading this first slide? Go ahead. Miguel, can you hear me? Is Miguel here?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Daniel, can you please help me reading this first part, this first slide?
Okay. I read.
Yeah, but please turn off the music because I can hear you in a good way. I can hear just the music, but you are in class. So please pause the music and help me reading. Go ahead, attack.
Second conditional. It is used to talk about future. Conditional with which are
Wait.
where are imaginary, impossible, or improbable.
Mhm.
If more past tense or words more infinity.
Thank you, Miguel. So, my dears, look at this. In the first conditional, we were saying that we can use it to talk about possibilities, something that you know are possible to happen, something that it is like yeah, something that maybe it is not happening right now, but something you know it is super possible, something real, something possible. In the case of second conditional, babies, we are going to talk about imaginary situations. Yeah, and those imaginary situations, guys, are going to be like hypothetical situations, something that is in your mind, something that is not about to happen, you know, something that is super hard to happen, like hypothetical situations, imaginary situations. It may happen, it is a possibility, yes, but it is super difficult. It is more in your head, it is more in your imagination than than in the real world, you know? I can give you an example. I may say, if I won the lottery, I would travel to Japan. So let me ask you something. I am going to repeat the example and I am going to ask you something. If I won the lottery, I would travel to Japan. So guys, I have a question for you. How possible is to win the lottery for someone? Is it easy to win the lottery, guys? Or to win baloto or something like that? Is it easy to win it? ¿Es fácil ganársela? Yes or no? Who can tell me? Think about it. How possible is that someone wins the lottery? Is easy? Is hard? So? What do you think? Or how possible is for someone to win the baloto? Wow, you are so in silence. It is really hard, guys. Actually, it is hard. It is difficult to do it. It is super hard to win those prizes, you know? So this is more an imaginary situation. This is more like a hypothetical situation. Si yo me ganara la lotería, yo viajaría a Japón. That is not happening right now. That is not even possible. That is just something that comes from your mind and that's it. Can you see? That's second conditional. When you have these improbable situations, when you have these imaginations or imaginaries, when you have these hypothetical situations, that's second conditional. Okay? Questions up to this point, guys? Something to say up to this point? I guess no. What happened, babies? The structure is going to be super similar. You are going to have the if clause, you are going to have the main clause, o sea, van a tener consecuencia, van a tener causas, van a tener, sí, la condición del efecto, todo.
Profe.
La estructura es igual. ¿Tell me?
Entonces el second conditional es más para cosas improbables que más probables, o está entendiendo mal.
Cosas imaginarias, cosas hipotéticas. Y cuando tú tienes un imaginario o algo que es hipotético es porque es algo bien complicado. No es como tan probable que suceda. O sea, puede que por obra y gracia de la vida suceda, pero no es tan probable, es más un imaginario que tú tienes. Es como si tú dijeras, si yo me gradúo del colegio, o sea, si me promueven hasta 11 en este momento, yo me podría graduar a los 15 años, un ejemplo. Es súper improbable que un día lleguen y te digan, oye, me caes bien, pásate a 11 y gradúate este año. ¿Sí ves? Es algo hipotético. ¿Puede pasar? Pues sí, puede pasar en algún momento. Es súper raro, posiblemente no pase nunca, pero esta es un imaginario, es una situación hipotética.
Con un
¿Qué
5%
pasaría
de
si?
probabilidad.
Dime.
Y con un 5% de probabilidad que pase.
It is exactly the same. It is like an imaginary situation, a hypothetical situations. Es como cuando te dan a ti hipótesis, como cuando te ponen a escribir a ti un ensayo, o te ponen a escribir una tesis o un trabajo, a ti te dicen, bueno, ¿cuál es tu hipótesis? Entonces tú dices, bueno, mi hipótesis es que la Tierra por fuera no es azul, sino que es un daño en la visión de todos los humanos, y resulta que la Tierra por fuera se ve morada. ¿Tienes cómo probar eso? No, ni idea. ¿Hay evidencia de eso? No. ¿Es posible? Tal vez, tú no sabes, es una hipótesis, es una situación imaginaria, ¿sí ves? Entonces, para probar tu hipótesis te toca trabajar, te toca investigar, te toca hacer muchas cosas, pero sigue siendo una hipótesis, una situación imaginaria, súper improbable. ¿Listo? So, my dears, any other question?
No.
Okay, so look at this. It is for imaginary situations, hypothetical situations. La diferencia es que en el primer condicional tienes posibilidades. ¿Sí ves? If it rains, I won't go to school. ¿Puede llover? Sí, es muy posible que llueva, está lloviendo mucho. ¿Puedes quedarte en la casa? Pues obviamente no voy a salir de mi casa si está lloviendo. ¿Sí ves? Es algo más probable. Con un segundo condicional, no, es una cosa imaginaria, hipotética, que está ya salida de tu imaginación. ¿Ok? What happened, guys? The structure is super similar. It is going to be if plus the verbal tense. It is going to be the main clause with a modal verb. Van a tener otra vez un if con un tiempo verbal, van a tener otra vez una consecuencia que va a ir de la manito con un verbo modal. Es lo mismo, pero cambia el tiempo verbal y cambian los verbos modales que van a usar. That's the only difference. So, look at this. In this case, you are going to use if. You are going to use a past tense. Ya no va a ser presente, ahora va a ser pasado. Past tense. In this case, past simple. You have a keyword. Hay muchos verbos, hay 4 verbos modales que pueden usar. El que yo les recomiendo es este, would. If you use second conditional with would, you are doing everything in a good way and you will never be confused. So would or could. ¿Listo? This is the keyword. And then you have the verb in infinitive. Okay? That's the structure. It's similar. Que cambia, ya no va con presente, va con pasado, y los verbos modales son diferentes.
Sure.
Tell me.
So we change will with would.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's basically that. Y cambias el presente simple por el pasado simple. That's it. Can you see? I am going to show you the structure. Let me show it to you. So look at the structure. Once again, babies, and as you can see, it's super similar. You have the if clause, you have the main clause. You can change it. Pueden escribirlo al revés también, no pasa nada. The main clause and the if clause, it's okay. So look at the structure. For the if clause, that means your condition, you are going to use if, because in conditionals, you're going to use if all the time. There is no chance to make a conditional without if, okay? So if plus past simple, in this case, as I told you, it is going to be past, plus the comma if you have it at the beginning, okay? But in general, it's if plus past simple. And the main clause, that means the consequence, that means the effect, is going to be your subject, the modal verbs I am going to give you, but my suggestion is to use would, plus infinitive. So let's take a look to this example. If I won the lottery, I would buy a car. So if this is the same example or similar to the one I was giving to you. Do I have the lottery now? No. Do I have enough money for my car? No. Even if I win the lottery, it is possible that the money I am going to win is not going to be enough for a car. So can you see imaginary situations? Si yo me ganara esto, yo haría esto, yo podría hacer esto, yo tendría esto. Si esto fuera así, yo no sería así. ¿Sí ven como algo tan imaginario? Porque las cosas son diferentes en tu realidad. ¿You see? So, if I won the lottery, I would buy a car. Or you can change the order. Don't forget that you can put the consequence at the beginning, like here. I would buy a car if I won the lottery. Si ven que la estructura es muy similar, solo que me cambia el tiempo verbal que estoy usando y el verbo modal que estoy usando. De resto es igual. So you just have to learn the rules. In second conditional, past simple, would. Can you see? So questions up to this point, babies? I am going to give you some seconds to take notes. Ready, my dears? Please tell me yes, no, so.
No, teacher, no yet.
Okay, don't worry. Ready, my dears? Did you take notes? Can we continue? Yes? Fine. I guess we can continue now. So, second condition. Now that we have checked the structure, babies, we are going to check the modal verbs we can use. As well as we have in the first conditional some modal verbs we can use, we also have some modal verbs we can use here on the second conditional. In this case, babies, you can use could. Could is like the past form of can. This is like to talk about something in past, like a possible, like an ability that you had in the past, or like this is going to be like podría. Literally, it's going to be like podría. Yo podría. I could travel to New York if I had a lot of money, for example. Yo podría. So you can use could, you can use might. You know that might is going to be used to talk about something that it is not sure in the future. You can use once again should, but it is not that common, and the keyword would. Mi sugerencia, ¿cuál es? Mis amores, céntrense en este would. Aprendan que el segundo condicional va con would y con could. Estos dos son los que más van a ver y los que más van a utilizar. Could, would, could, would, could, would, ¿ok? Lo mismo que en el primer condicional. En el primer condicional era can, will, En este es could, would. Can you see? Dos modal verbs que van a tener como presente siempre porque son los que más les van a ayudar. So, questions about it, babies? Could, would. Please focus on could and please focus on would. So, as you don't have questions up to this point, I am going to show you some examples, and each one of you is going to read one of the examples. So we are going to begin with Antonio. Antonio, darling, can you please help me reading this first example? If I had... Go ahead, Antonio. Please help me reading this example. If I had...
Perdón, profe.
Don't worry. If...
I had $1,000,000. I'll give a lot to charity.
Thank you.
Charity.
Yeah, charity. Okay, look at this, babies. Look at this first example. If I had $1,000,000, I'd give a lot to the charity. So, babies, look at this. What is this? ¿Qué es esta ahí con este apóstrofe y esta ahí? What is that?
I would.
I would. In this case, babies, this is the contracted form, this is the short form of would. Así que pueden escribirlo así o pueden escribir would. My suggestion is do whatever you want to do, but if you have clear while you are doing that. Si tienes claro que esto es un would, puedes usarlo así. Si todavía te confundes y no sabes que esto es un would, por favor escribe el would completo. ¿Listo? If I had $1,000,000, I'd give a lot. So do I have $1,000,000, guys? Do you have $1,000,000? Am I going to have $1,000,000 tomorrow? Is it easy to have $1,000,000? So can you see a lot of questions? This is a hypothetical situation. Si yo tuviera $1,000,000, le daría mucho a la caridad. But I don't have $1,000,000 right now, so I can do it. Can you see? So let's go with the second example. Carlitos, attack. This one.
Yes, teacher. If I went to China, I would visit the Great Wall.
Thank you. If I went to China, I'd visit the Great Wall. What is the Great Wall? What is that? The Great Wall. What is it? Who knows what is the Great Wall?
La Gran Muralla.
La Muralla China, yes, of course. Then in English is the Great Wall. So look at this. If I went to China, I'd visit the Great Wall. So once again, this is a hypothetical situation. Why? Because you are not in China, you may go there, it is possible. In this case, it is possible. Pero en este momento, a veces ahí es una situación hipotética. Si yo estuviera allá, visitaría la Gran Muralla. ¿Estás allá ahorita? No. Estás allá en tu imaginación. Ahorita no estás allá. Can you see? That's like the difference. Let's go with the third example. Fabian, attack, baby. This one, if I lived... Fabi, can you please help me reading, or do you have like noise? Okay, maybe he's with the noise thing. Okay, so let's go with Jorge. Jorge, baby, can you please help me reading the next example? If I lived in Japan...
Okay, if I live in Japan, I had have sushi every day.
Thank you. If I live in Japan, I'd have sushi every day, or I would have sushi every day. So is your reality now, guys, that you are living in Japan? No, you are living here in Colombia. Look at this. If I live in Japan, I have sushi every day. Si yo viviera allá, es como un anhelo. El segundo condicional está en su imaginación y eso, pero entiéndanlo como un anhelo que ustedes tienen. Si yo tuviese eso, si yo fuera así, si yo viviera allá, como un anhelo, como un deseo, algo hipotético que en este momento no está pasando. ¿Okay? Let's go with the next example. Camilo, please help me reading the next one. Attack. Ifram.
Okay, teacher. If Ram became rich, she would marry him.
Thank you. But Ram is not rich, so she is not going to marry him. If Ram became rich, she will marry him. So look at this. Miren que en todos estos ejemplos que hemos mirado tenemos la if condition at the beginning. That means the condition, the cause at the beginning. For that reason, you have the verbal tense at the beginning. Acuérdense que el tiempo verbal va pegadito del if. Después del if va el tiempo verbal, antes no. ¿Listo? So, if Ram became rich, past simple, she will marry him. Modal verb. Let's go with the next example. Let's check it. Juanjo, baby attack. This one, if it is no, go ahead, Juanjo. Okay, Juanjo is not with me. So, Juli, attack. The next one. If it is no,
If I,
yes, attack.
if it snowed next July, what will you do?
Thank you. Look at these babies. In this case, you have a question. Can you see that you have a question? So, how can you make this question? This question is going to be like this, Miren. If it is now next July, what will you do? Or it can be, what will you do if it is now next July? Usually, guys, when we have questions, we usually find like the question at the beginning. What will you do if this happens? But in this case, guys, you can also say it in this way. If it is now next July, what will you do? Y después de la coma, para pregunta. Possibilities.
Teacher,
Miguel.
after you call me?
No, I haven't called you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Music. Don't worry. Don't forget the music, baby.
Is the silence I feel scared.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. Karen, Princess, can you please help me reading this example? If I will be happy.
I will be happy if I became rich.
Thank you, Princess. I would be happy if I became rich. Yo podría ser feliz si me vuelvo rico. But I have a question for you. Is this sentence okay? Yes or no? But Majo, tell me, do you have questions, Princess?
No, I was going to ask about the comma because when we put would first, it is without the comma.
That's it. So that's what the reason why I am asking to you this. Is this sentence good or is this sentence wrong? Let's imagine that you are in an exam, that you are in the middle of a test. And I ask you to write a conditional and you write the conditional like this. Te digo, bueno, escribe mi oración en segundo condicional y tú me lo escribes así. I would be happy if I became rich. ¿Yo les pongo que está bien o les pongo que está mal? What do you think?
Está mal.
Que está mal, ¿por qué?
Por la coma, ¿no, profe?
Well, because of the comma. Ustedes pueden tener, amores, la estructura perfecta, hermosa, maravillosa. Me usaron el would, me usaron el pasado simple, qué lindos, pero ¡pum! Me pusieron una coma y no la tenían que poner. Acuérdense que si el if está en la mitad, no necesita una coma. Solo si está al principio. ¿Listo? And let's read the last example. Okay, Laura, Princess, can you please help me reading the last example, baby? This one. Will you be surprised?
Sure, Miss. So, will you be surprised if it rained tomorrow?
Thank you. So look at this one. Will you be surprised if it rained tomorrow? Miren esta pregunta tan bonita. Arrancó con el would. Arrancó con el verbo modal. Would you be surprised if it rained tomorrow? Or you can say, if it rained tomorrow, comma, will you be surprised? Can you see that all of these examples are using would? So would es como un podría, lo mismo que could. So would and could are going to be the ones you're going to use the most with the second conditional. Please remember, second conditional, past simple, would or could. Questions up to this point, babies? So I am going to give you some seconds to take notes. Please try to use colors to distinguish the use of the conditional and so on. Okay, Sophie. So don't worry, baby. We are in the middle of the explanation, so don't worry. It's okay. However, you will have the recording. So, my dears, I am going to give you some seconds to take notes and that. Ready, babies, or no yet? Tell me, ready or no yet, babies?
Jet teacher.
Okay. Okay, my dears, I guess that we are going to continue, okay? So, second conditional, here you have some examples. Let's continue then. Here you have some other examples. Let's finish with these 3 examples and we are going to check a video and we are going to practice, okay? So, Majo, can you please help me reading this first example, princess?
Examples. If I were you, I wouldn't accept that job.
Thank you. Look at this, guys. Pilas con este uso del was and were acá. Porque cuando ustedes hablan de una situación hipotética, si yo fuera tú, si tú fueras yo, whatever, o sea, cuando tú hablas de ponerte en los zapatos de otra persona, vas a usar were. It doesn't matter if you have first, third person, whatever person you have. It is were. ¿Listo? If I were you, I wouldn't accept that job. This is what happened in the first exercise we did in the conditional. So you remember? ¿Por qué en primer condicional utilizaban un were, profe? ¿Por qué? Por esta razón. Siempre que tú te pones en los zapatos de otra persona, que estás hablando de otro, vas a utilizar were. For example, if I were you, I wouldn't accept the job. This is a hypothetical situation and it is impossible for you to become or to change into the body of a different person, you know? Si yo fuera tú, I wouldn't accept the job. Look at this. This is in negative. So it is possible to say wouldn't or couldn't. Or if I were you, I would accept the job. You can change like the modal verb, whatever, however you want, okay? Let's check another example just for you to realize how this works. Samuel, baby, can you please help me reading this second example? Samuel?
Okay. If she were happy in her job, she wouldn't be looking for another one.
That's it. If she were happy in her job, she wouldn't be looking for another one. Si ella fuera, así cuando tú hablas, si él fuera, si yo fuera, si ella fuera, si yo fuera, fuera. Can you see? Cami, do you have questions?
Yes, teacher. And we never use the was.
In this case, no. In the case of the conditionals, no. Okay. Oh, but I mean, no, because you are talking was like this is the past form of the verb to be, you know, like said start. So it may be used, but not when you are talking about like the position of a different person. Si ella fuera, si yo fuera, si nosotros fuéramos, en ese caso, no importa la persona, siempre va a ser bueno. ¿Listo? If she were happy in her job, she wouldn't be looking for another one. Okay, perfect. So Cami, now that you talk, can you please help me reading the last example?
Okay. If they were thinking of selling I would want to buy.
That's it. If they were thinking of selling, I would want to buy. Si ellos estuvieran, si ellos fueran, si ven, es que es por esa terminación del estuvieran, fueran, el eran. That's where. So I will say, guys, in second conditional or in conditionals in general, no was, just where. Okay? If they were thinking of selling, I would want to buy. Si ellos estuvieran pensando en vender, yo querría comprar. Pero pues no están pensando en vender, así que no quiero comprar. And so on. And you see? Imaginary situations, hypothetical situations. Questions up to this point? So my dears, I am going to give you once again some extra seconds, not that much because these are just 3 examples. So let's say 1 minute for you to take notes, and then we are going to check some examples of the real life. Okay, my dears, let's continue. So, don't forget, the use of verb to be in this case is going to be were. I am going to show you a video right now. This is a video from a program that actually uses a lot of conditionals in their episodes. I am going to show you some of these. This is going to be a scene. You're going to have the entire scene. And one part of the scene is going to have an example of second conditional. The part that has the example is going to be with subtitles. So pay attention to it, try to take notes if possible, and then we are going to discuss it, okay? So let's check the video.
Anyways, I'm also writing a screenplay. It's about this sensitive girl who comes to LA from Lincoln, Nebraska to be an actress and winds up a waitress at the Cheesecake Factory.
So it's based on your life?
No, I'm from Omaha.
Well, if that was a movie, I would go see it.
I know, right? Sorry, I'm such a mess. And on top of everything else, I'm all gross from moving. My stupid shower doesn't even work.
Our shower works.
Really? Would it be totally weird if I used it?
Yes. No. No? No. No.
Wow, cool tiger.
Yeah, I've had him since level 10. His name is Buttons. Anyway, if you had your own game character, we could hang out, maybe go on a quest.
Sounds interesting.
So you'll think about it?
Oh, I don't think I'll be able to stop thinking about it.
Smooth. No, you guys work in the same lab. So? There are pitfalls. Trust me, I know. When it comes to sexual harassment law, I'm a bit of a self-taught expert.
Look, Howard, if I were to ask Leslie Winkle out, it would just be for dinner. I'm not gonna walk into the lab, ask her to strip naked and dance for me.
Oh, then you're probably okay. Sheldon, if you were a robot and I knew and you didn't, would you want me to tell you?
Anyway, it occurs to me, if I ever did perfect a time machine, I would just go into the past and give it to myself, thus eliminating the need for me to invent it in the first place.
You know, I'm sure if you just apologized to Gablehauser, he would give you your job back.
I don't want my job back. I've spent the past 3.5 years staring at grease boards full of equations. Before that, I spent 4 years working on my thesis. Before that, I was in college, and before that, I was in the 5th grade.
Oh no.
What?
That's Penny's ex-boyfriend.
What do you suppose he's doing here, besides disrupting the local gravity field?
If he were any bigger, he'd have moons orbiting him.
Oh, snap.
Leonard, you are so great. Why can't all guys be like you?
Because if all guys were like me, the human race couldn't survive.
Well, first, we don't have house guests. Frankly, if I could afford the rent, I'd ask you to leave.
Your friendship means a lot to me as well. What else? Okay, if I may drill down to the bedrock of my question, why did you throw it out?
Because I have no interest in standing in the Rose Room of the Pasadena Marriott in front of a group of judgmental strangers who wouldn't recognize true genius if it were standing in front of them giving a speech. Which, if I were there, it would be. Leonard. Leonard. Leonard.
Oh,
Leonard.
it'd be so much easier
Leonard.
if I were a violent
Leonard.
sociopath.
Leonard.
What?
Let's go tonight. I have to go tonight.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but if cats could sing, they'd hate it too.
So that's it. Did you realize, and I am going to ask this specifically to Cami. Cami, did you realize that there was a moment when they used was as a conditional? Did you
No,
realize
teacher.
that, Cami, or not? At the very beginning, they said this. Look at this. I'm going to play the first part just for you to see it. Because this is for all of you. Look at this part. Look at this. Well, if that was a movie, I would go see it. Look at this. In this case, they are using was. But this is because they are talking about things, not people. In that case, Cami, you can use was, okay? But not when you are talking about people. If that was a movie, it's okay. But if you are going to say, if I were you, or if you were me, or something like that, it is not with was. Si hablan de cosas, sí lo pueden usar, okay? Just keep it in mind. I just wanted to show you this. And we had plenty of examples, guys, here of second conditional. Would it be totally weird if I use it? This is a question. Look at this. If is in the middle, would is at the beginning. Would it be totally weird if I use it? Hypothetical situations. It is not happening right now. Look at this one. If you had your own game character, look at this. If you had your own game, we could hang out. So can you see in this case, I am using could. Instead of could, I am using could, but it is okay. I could do it. So you don't forget, you can use would, you can use could. Let's check the other one. A lot of examples here. Okay, look at this one. If you were a robot, this is a question. If you were a robot and I knew and you didn't, would you want me to tell you? So, Cami, give me a second. Yes, we are going to have it. Don't worry. We are going to have it as soon as I finish with this. So, look at this, guys. If you were a robot and I knew and you didn't, look at this. He is using didn't. Why, guys? Because this is a second conditional. The verbal tense is past simple. So when you want to use negation or negative things, you have to use didn't. The auxiliary verb, didn't. If you were a robot and I knew and you didn't, would you want me to tell you? So can you see, guys? We have plenty of examples here that we can use by using second conditional. Actually, conditionals are super used in daily life, guys. But we are going to have the chance to practice with this, don't worry. By now, let me know. Do you have questions up to this point? Yes or no? No? So I am going to stop the recording of the class right now, guys, because we are going to have our active pause, and then we are going to come back and we are going to practice. So let me stop the recording.